for something like this, Kinsey, dog biscuits will not cut it. We are going her epic losses as major wins, and you can't fool us anymore. You know, the problem...
In recent weeks, Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand, As Ever, has quietly found itself at the center of renewed scrutiny, following reports linked to Netflix's Los Angeles offices. What began as a minor industry rumor has now evolved into a broader conversation about branding, inventory management, and the future of Meghan Markle's post-royal commercial ventures. According to reporting first highlighted by Page 6, multiple sources claim that surplus As Ever products have been circulating internally among Netflix employees. These reports allege that storage rooms inside Netflix's Icon Tower and Epic office buildings in Los Angeles were holding large quantities of merchandise associated with the brand. Items reportedly included jars of preserves, candles, wine, and Meghan Markle's signature, flower petal sprinkles. Several insiders described the volume of inventory as unusually high. One source claimed employees were openly encouraged to take products home, with some staff members leaving with multiple items at a time. Another source confirmed the existence of overstock but emphasized that the situation was being mischaracterized publicly. According to that counter-narrative, the majority of As Ever inventory had already been relocated to an off-site warehouse and was not officially stored at Netflix headquarters. Any remaining products on site, the source said, were designated strictly for promotional gifting, internal sampling, or brand marketing purposes. From that perspective, employees taking items was not an attempt to offload excess stock, but rather a controlled internal distribution strategy. Still, the optics of the situation raised questions, particularly given Netflix's evolving relationship with Meghan Markle. The streaming platform had previously partnered with the Duchess of Sussex on multiple projects, including lifestyle and documentary content. However, recent announcements confirmed that Netflix would not be moving forward with additional seasons of With Love, Meghan, prompting speculation about the long-term direction of the partnership. Against that backdrop, the circulation of branded products inside Netflix offices took on a different significance. Critics argue that without an active flagship show or major promotional campaign, it remains unclear what purpose large-scale internal product distribution would serve. Adding to the discussion are broader concerns surrounding As Ever's commercial strategy. Online consumer feedback has raised questions about product packaging, shelf life, and quality control, particularly for food items. Some reviewers noted issues such as seals not appearing fully intact, a detail that has fueled debate about whether the brand is adequately prepared for large-scale or international distribution. While Meghan Markle has previously suggested that her brand ambitions extend globally, industry experts point out that selling food products across international markets involves strict regulatory compliance, country-specific packaging requirements, and significant logistical planning. To date, no clear evidence has emerged, confirming that As Ever has successfully met those thresholds. At the same time, reports indicate that several As Ever products have undergone recent price increases. Items such as spreads, teas, wines, chocolates, and honey were all listed at higher price points than before. Traditionally, price increases are associated with strong demand or premium positioning. However, some retail analysts note that raising prices while attempting to move excess inventory can be a risky strategy, particularly for a relatively new lifestyle brand still establishing consumer trust. Another point drawing attention is the brand's marketing approach. Retail observers have suggested that As Ever has repackaged existing inventory into seasonal or themed bundles, such as holiday or Valentine's collections, rather than introducing newly manufactured stock. While bundling is a common retail tactic, critics argue that transparency is essential when presenting repackaged products as limited or newly released items. Taken together, these developments highlight the challenges facing celebrity-driven lifestyle brands in an increasingly skeptical marketplace. Meghan Markle entered the space with significant name recognition and global visibility, but sustained success depends on more than celebrity alone. It requires operational discipline, consistent product quality, and a clear long-term strategy. As Ever continues to navigate these early growing pains, questions remain about whether the brand can transition from headline-driven attention to lasting commercial credibility. For now, the situation inside Netflix's Los Angeles offices serves as a small but telling snapshot of a much larger story, one that is still unfolding. As questions continue to swirl around the future of As Ever, attention has shifted from official distribution channels to the secondary marketplace. In recent months, a noticeable increase in As Ever products appearing on resale platforms such as eBay has sparked widespread online speculation, particularly within social media forums and discussion boards. Multiple listings featuring As Ever items have been observed, often marketed as new, unused, or limited. While
Internal
resale
reports
itself is
confirmed
not
that Meghan
unusual,
had used the
especially for
children's
lifestyle
royal
brands,
identity
what
in
has raised
promotional
eyebrows is the volume and consistency of the listings, along with the way some of them are presented. In several cases, sellers have used imagery and descriptions that closely mirror Meghan Markle's own curated aesthetic, fueling theories about the origin of these items. Some online commentators have gone further, suggesting that individuals connected to the brand or even Meghan Markle herself could be behind the resale activity. While no verified evidence has emerged to substantiate those claims, the persistence of such speculation underscores a broader issue. Once a brand loses clear control over its distribution narrative, perception can quickly spiral beyond its influence. Industry experts note that when excess inventory enters secondary markets too quickly, it can weaken a brand's perceived value. Luxury and lifestyle labels often work aggressively to prevent overexposure on resale platforms, as discounted or widely available products can erode the sense of exclusivity they are trying to cultivate. For a brand like As Ever, which has positioned itself as premium and aspirational, that risk is particularly acute. Another concern raised by retail analysts relates to brand transparency. Observers have pointed out that some products marketed as seasonal releases or special bundles appear identical to earlier stock, repackaged with new labeling or themed presentation. While bundling unsold inventory is a common practice in retail, it can become problematic if consumers believe they are purchasing newly produced or limited edition items, when that is not the case. At the heart of these discussions lies a larger question: what is the long-term vision for As Ever? Meghan Markle has often been compared by supporters and critics alike to established celebrity entrepreneurs such as Martha Stewart or Gwyneth. However, industry insiders emphasize that the most successful celebrity-founded brands share a key trait: a willingness to step back, listen, and defer to experienced professionals. Fashion and lifestyle history offers several examples of public figures who successfully transitioned from fame into serious business credibility. In those cases, founders invested time in learning the mechanics of the industry, surrounding themselves with expert advisors, and allowing the product, rather than their personal narrative, to lead. Without that humility, even high-profile brands can struggle to gain lasting traction. In contrast, critics argue that As Ever appears heavily reliant on Meghan Markle's personal visibility rather than an independently strong commercial identity. When media coverage slows or public attention shifts, the brand's momentum appears to falter as well. That dependency creates vulnerability, particularly in an environment where consumer trust is increasingly shaped by authenticity and consistency rather than celebrity alone. Meanwhile, resale rumors and online chatter, whether accurate or exaggerated, have contributed to an atmosphere of uncertainty. For many consumers, perception matters as much as reality. A brand that appears to be quietly offloading inventory, repackaging unsold goods, or losing grip on its distribution channels risks undermining the very exclusivity it seeks to project. For now, Meghan Markle has not publicly addressed the resale speculation or provided detailed insight into As Ever's operational strategy. As the brand moves forward, its next steps will likely determine whether it can evolve beyond controversy, attention, and establish itself as a sustainable lifestyle business, or whether it remains tethered to the highs and lows of its founder's public profile. What is clear is that in today's crowded lifestyle market, visibility alone is no longer enough. Success demands discipline, clarity, and credibility, qualities that cannot be resold, repackaged, or manufactured overnight. As commercial uncertainty continues to surround Meghan Markle's lifestyle ambitions, attention has increasingly shifted to the couple's broader financial and professional standing in the United States. Once positioned as global power players following their departure from royal duties, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle now face mounting questions about sustainability, both in terms of income streams and long-term relevance. In the years immediately following their move to California, the Sussexes secured a series of high-profile deals with major corporations, including Netflix, Spotify, and publishing houses. At the time, those agreements were widely interpreted as proof that the couple could successfully leverage their royal association into an independent media empire. However, several of those partnerships have since been scaled back, restructured, or quietly concluded. Industry insiders suggest that the demand for Prince Harry as a public speaker has also shifted. Early post-royal appearances reportedly commanded seven-figure fees, particularly when tied to high-profile corporate events. More recent estimates, however, indicate a significant reduction in speaking fees, reflecting changes in market appetite and audience perception. While such engagements remain lucrative by ordinary standards, they no longer align with the extraordinary valuations once associated with his name. This shift has fueled speculation about the couple's overall financial strategy, including persistent rumors surrounding their Montecito estate. While no official confirmation has been made, reports suggest that the property may have been quietly explored for potential sale through off-market channels. Real estate experts note that pocket listings are sometimes used by high-profile owners seeking discretion, though such rumors remain unverified. At the same time, professional reluctance appears to be emerging within certain industries. Sources have indicated that publicists, executives, and even real estate professionals have become increasingly cautious about public association with the whether driven by controversy, fatigue, or reputational risk. That hesitancy marks a notable contrast to the enthusiasm that once surrounded their arrival in the United States. Public appearances by Prince Harry continue, though not without controversy. His upcoming participation in conferences focused on digital ethics, privacy, or technology has prompted debate about his qualifications to speak on such subjects. Critics argue that Harry's highly publicized memoir and repeated media disclosures about his family sit uneasily alongside his involvement in conversations about privacy and responsible communication. In the digital age, supporters counter that his lived experience with media intrusion offers a unique perspective. Still, the tension between message and public record remains difficult to ignore. For conference organizers, the inclusion of Prince Harry appears to offer visibility and name recognition, but at the risk of distracting from the substance of the event itself. Meanwhile, comparisons between the Sussexes and other public figures continue to surface. Observers note that celebrity influence can be a double-edged sword. While it attracts attention, it also magnifies missteps. When partnerships falter or projects underperform, the spotlight intensifies scrutiny rather than shielding against it. For Meghan Markle in particular, the challenge lies in separating personal narrative from professional output. Without consistent, successful projects anchoring her public image, speculation tends to fill the void. Lifestyle branding, media production, and advocacy work all require sustained execution, not just announcements or initial buzz. As 2026 approaches, the Sussexes find themselves at a crossroads. The early post-royal momentum has slowed, and the next phase will likely determine whether their American chapter stabilizes or continues to fragment. In a market that prizes credibility over controversy, the margin for reinvention is narrowing. What remains to be seen is whether Meghan Markle and Prince Harry will recalibrate their approach, focusing less on visibility and more on durable results, or whether they will continue navigating a cycle of headline-driven relevance. The answer may define not just their next projects, but their lasting place in the public imagination. That as the Sussex narrative continues to evolve, attention has increasingly shifted back to the British royal family, particularly Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, and how their trajectory contrasts with that of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, with reports suggesting that William and Catherine are planning a high-profile visit to the United States tied to America's 250th anniversary. The contrast between the two royal paths has become more pronounced. Palace sources describe the proposed visit as a strategic moment of soft power, emphasizing stability, service, and continuity rather than spectacle. Unlike previous royal tours built around ceremony alone, this visit is reportedly designed to reinforce long-standing diplomatic and cultural ties between the United Kingdom and the United States. Notably, King Charles and Queen Camilla are not expected to lead this effort, signaling a deliberate focus on the next generation of royal leadership. In Washington and beyond, U.S. officials are said to view William and Catherine as figures who represent reliability without controversy and image, carefully cultivated over years of restrained public service. That perception stands in stark contrast to the media environment surrounding the where nearly every appearance or announcement generates debate, division, or backlash. According to reports from UK outlets, Meghan Markle is said to be deeply frustrated by the renewed global attention surrounding the Prince and Princess of Wales. One insider described what was once subtle tension as having evolved into a one-sided rivalry, with Meghan reportedly feeling overshadowed whenever William and Catherine dominate headlines, particularly in the American media landscape she once sought to claim as her own. Royal observers note that this sense of competition is largely unresolved. Sources close to the Wales family suggest they remain focused on their responsibilities and are largely disengaged from the Sussex narrative. In that framing, the dynamic is less a rivalry and more a divergence. Two entirely different models of public life moving in opposite directions. Historically, moments of heightened visibility for William and Catherine have often been followed by attention-seeking counter-programming from the Sussex camp. Social media posts, brand announcements, or carefully timed public gestures have frequently coincided with major royal milestones. Analysts argue that such timing reflects a reactive strategy rather than a proactive one, driven more by comparison than long-term planning. As speculation grows about how Meghan Markle might respond to a major Wales-led U.S. tour, theories range from renewed philanthropic initiatives to deeply personal announcements designed to redirect public focus. However, critics warn that increasingly dramatic gestures may yield diminishing returns in a media landscape saturated with spectacle. underlying these discussions is a deeper psychological and cultural question. What sustains public relevance over time? For William and Catherine, consistency, restraint, and institutional support have reinforced their standing. For Meghan and Harry, the emphasis on personal storytelling in media, confrontation initially generated massive attention, but has struggled to maintain momentum. Without fresh conflict, this contrast has not gone unnoticed by corporate partners, media executives, or public audiences. Brands and institutions, once eager to align with the Sussexes, now appear more cautious. In an era where reputational risk is carefully measured, controversy often outweighs star power. The broader implication is that influence rooted in grievance is inherently unstable. Without new adversaries or unfolding disputes, the narrative stalls. Meanwhile, institutions built on continuity can weather long periods without constant reinvention. As the Sussexes look toward the future, they face a narrowing set of options. They can pivot toward quieter, results-driven work, accepting a reduced spotlight in exchange for credibility, or continue pursuing visibility through confrontation and comparison. With increasingly unpredictable outcomes, ultimately, the story of Meghan Markle's post-royal life may be less about ambition than adaptation. The world she entered after stepping away from royal duties rewards execution over intention and substance over symbolism. Whether she chooses to evolve within that reality or resist, it will shape not only her next chapter, but how this era is ultimately remembered. In the end, public attention is not won once. It must be earned repeatedly, and in that relentless calculus, stability often outperforms spectacle.